Hey guys, welcome into today's video. I want to go over the new creamy eyeshadow palettes from Huda Beauty. I want to say I picked them up the very day that they launched on February 25th. I have seen people post about these, but I haven't watched any of the videos. I feel like I'm kind of getting a resounding disappointment from these palettes, but the reviews online so far seem pretty good. I mean, at least from the Huda Beauty website. I haven't gone over to look at Sephora. I want to say I've had these for like 4 days now, and I meant to dig into them, but I had to pick a day where I can do 2 different eye looks. So that's what we're gonna do. I want to do live swatches of these. I want to talk a little bit about them. I really just want to see, for me, if these are something that we needed, something that I'm gonna enjoy, and then I can share my thoughts with you guys. So that's what's on today's agenda. Let's dive in. All right, I have not done my base. I did a color corrector under my eyes and I primed. I'm using 2 new products, the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Powder Water Serum or Water Powder Serum, and then the color corrector from Cali Ray. Testing both of those out, but so far I'm liking them enough that I'm putting them on before filming. So each of these retails for $32. They're called the Creamy Obsessions Eyeshadow Palette. It says they're 2 monochromatic and versatile creamy palettes with innovative ultra pigmented metallic, marble, and cream to powder shadows that blend seamlessly to create an array of timeless looks from soft everyday to full glam. It comes with 4 different types of shadows and formulas, from bouncy cream to mattes, sensorial textures that transform from creams to soft powder with a matte finish. The cream to metallic shades have a unique formula that when used as a standalone color have a major impact as a topper. It gives a glittery finish. The cream to marble powders have abstract swirls that create transformative colors and texture for a velvety feel and multi-dimensional finish. Lastly is the set powder, a super thin velvety translucent powder to set your look in place all day. So it seems like to me here, we know the set shade is a powder, a translucent powder, and then they have the cream to marble powder. So those are powders, those aren't fully creams, but the creams to soft powder with a matte finish. So everything here isn't a cream, I guess. So maybe the shimmers here are not creams, but everything marked creamy is a cream. So 2 color stories. It's the Greige Creamy Obsessions, I think I'm saying that correctly, and then the Neutral Brown Creamy Obsessions. They both have a 24-month shelf life, which I actually find quite surprising. I didn't think with like a cream formula that they would. Both of these are made in China, and I'm mostly drawn into the cool color story, surprisingly, where I'm normally someone who likes a really warm toned color story. The pinks, like the light pink, the little light lilac, just looks really interesting to me. I am probably going to do 1 eye look at a time. So let's take the cooler color story, the grayish one, and swatch it first. When I do my swatches, I always start left and then I work across and over. So I'm going to be doing it on this part of my hand. Let me take off my ring here and let's dig into this first creamy shade. Of course, creamy comes off right away, stamped on it. I mean, it's a full cream. Like fully cream. So nice and wet. Like this is a good base. Kind of feels like it has silicones in it. You can see just a little bit of radiance kind of in the lights. I'm literally not sure how to feel about this. I'm not. Let's go into the marbled shade. But I guess it's that cream to powder formula where this one is like a full cream. Here's this. It's like a satin formula. It doesn't have huge light reflection to it, but it's still pretty nice. Once you swirl those shades together, it's pretty dark. And then I feel like this is the color that I see her doing like all over her lid, which is this kind of light lilac one in the top corner that is a full cream. Wow, that one, you guys, is soft. Like I'm making a big indent in that one. Here's what it looks like. There's the garbage truck pickup right now, so you're gonna hear that outside. And there she goes. Wow, that one is ultra soft, ultra soft. Let me show you the nice little dent that I made in it. There she is. It's a full cream. It is for sure. And this next one, interesting. I like this shade though, just overall. Oh, I'm like swatching in a really interesting direction. Okay. I like that light dusty rose kind of color. And then this next shimmer, see, this feels like an emollient powder. This doesn't feel like a cream shimmer. Ooh, that one's really pretty. But kind of your standard shimmer, if you will. The lighter the color, the more squishy the shade is. It's interesting. Ooh, I really like that color. Kind of like a taupey mauve. It's really pretty. This one looks like a satin. I feel like, again, this one feels just like powder. I'm not getting like the crazy intenseness of the wet creamy shadows, but it swatches the best. This one might be a little bit underwhelming, but this is the powder set shade. So we will use this to fully set. Oh, that's barely even. That's fully underwhelming. And this last deep creamy shade is a mess. It's a hot mess. It's a black shade right here. Oh, that's a great liner though. Nice and opaque. So now that we have swatched this guy out, let's go into this one on the right eye first. I'm going to just take a brush and set with the powder shade because I have not set my eyes. I've actually been doing that quite a bit lately. Just taking the lightest shade in the palette to set with, which is not something that I normally do. It adds a little bit of tone to the lid, not fully pigmentless. I mean, you really could get some nice looks out of this. Like if you wanted to go more pinky, you could. Some of these have, like this one almost has like a purplish tinge to it. And then you could go more bronzy toned too. Like there's lots of stuff that I feel like you could do with this 9 pan. You could stay away from even some of the super duper creamy shades. I don't know, like I don't hate this. I feel like some of the titles of the videos that I've been watching have not been overly positive. I'm gonna take this one right here and lay it all over, and I'm just gonna apply it with my finger and see what it gets me. Okay, it's not intense for me. Wow. I think what I saw is like Jen Phelps's caption was something like, I've already hit pan. Working with this shade with my finger, I can definitely see that. Like I made a decent indentation here. I guess that's gonna happen. So I wanna be convinced that we needed these and that it's easy too. I do wanna take a brush to kind of define my crease a little. It's just like what brush is best. A pointed brush? Let's test that out. I'm gonna take another cream shade. I'm gonna cream it up. I'm gonna take this one on the opposite side here and maybe define the crease a bit. Using a brush on my lid is a little tough when it's super dense because, you know, it's kind of dragging my skin, which is just what it does because I have hooded eyes and extra skin, but it picks up nicely. It did what I wanted it to do, essentially. But it's very light. Like unless you're going for the super deep shades, I'm just not getting a ton of intensity. I'm gonna try and deepen it up with the marble shade that came out much darker when swirled together and swatched out. And try and deepen this up just a little. That's pretty. I'm gonna have to take this shimmer, the silvery shimmer, and I'm just gonna apply it to the bottom part of my lid. And I'm gonna try and keep it pretty close and underneath that other shade that I drug into the crease. This doesn't have a super strong base to it. And it's the only real light reflecting shimmer. I'm gonna see how it picks up on a flat brush to apply because it's basically all glitter. When I'm using my finger, it's not a ton of base pigment to it. I'm getting a lot of fallout. I don't mind because I usually do my base last, but if you guys aren't somebody who likes to do their base last, there's a ton of fallout right now. So you would be probably cleaning this up. It's just a ton of sparkle on that one shimmer shade that looks more light reflecting. I don't know, it's kind of the only lighter shimmer shade. So if you're someone who likes to play with light shimmer shades, like this is definitely one that you would be reaching for. So it's everywhere. Ooh, and I didn't close the palette. So some of it like got into my little creamy shades and now they're not gonna come out. I'm gonna go into that brush again that I went into the crease, take this shade right here to deepen up the outer corner just a little bit. And then I wanna take that black shade. I think I'm gonna do like a little bit of a liner with it, maybe all the way across. I don't love this shade. Like the other two shades are kind of purple, whereas this one's a little brown. It's fine. And I'm gonna take the blackest shade and go in with a little bit of a liner brush and just stamp it really close to my lash line. It's not performing poorly. You have to like cream shadows, I think. I don't know that I was missing a bunch of non-shimmery cream shadows, is kind of how I feel. Was I missing a fully cream palette? I mean, if I think about the Natasha Denona creams, I think they are a little bit dry and I tend to stay away from them. Conversely, these are extremely soft. So you have to think of these as what you would want if you were going for a stick or something. Opaque, blendable, all that good stuff. And I think it offers it. The only thing I think for me, I would have liked to have seen done better was that this was not just all sparkle, because it got like everywhere. And it would have been nice if it was just had a bit more of a base to it. And we know that Huda can do that. I think that I incorporated some of the light shades with some of the darker shades. So I do like this one. I think this one is just pretty fun overall. Now let's get into the other palette. Again, I'm gonna start swatching from the left side going over and by row. And we're gonna start with that first light creamy shade. This is just really about color stories since we've tested the formula and we pretty much know what we're gonna get out of this. These ones, like in the same spot, at least this one so far, not intensely creamy like the first one. It didn't get super intensely creamy until I got to like the third shade and then my finger was like dipping into it. When it was the lighter pigmented ones, that's how it felt. Ooh, I like that. You could do a really dark look. Just put this all over. This one is a super deep one. This is good as a liner. It looks brown in the pan, but when I swatch it out, no, it still looks brown, like a dark brown. Almost looks black. It's pretty deep. This one looks like a similar shimmer to the first one. Light, but like mostly glittery. Oh, this one feels like chunky foil. Look at that, you guys. Chunky. That is so much different than the other one. Oh, that's chunky-dunky. Chunky, chunky, chunky. Now I'm going into the marbled shade. This one feels like a cream, actually. So much more so than the other marbled shade. The other marbled shade was a powder. It might have been a cream to powder, but this one's fully a cream. So again, just kind of swirled together, you get another brown cream. Here's the set shade. Oh, that was immensely underwhelming. Immensely. This one has 3 separate glitters and 2 of them are lighter. And this is a fully cream shimmer. Oh, I just set it on top of this set shade. Oops. Okay. Well, now we know how it's gonna look on the set shade. Let's put the set shade back. If I can. There's not much going on with that set shade, I gotta say. Last creamy matte here. Swatch it here. Definitely some tone differences. Nothing repeating. And then the last shimmer. These shimmers feel so much creamier than the other one. Ooh, is that a duochrome? I think that one's a duochrome right there. This one is interesting. You get more diversity here than you do in the other one. Even though the other one, I don't know, the cool tones just look good. You've got something that looks like a duochrome down here. and a really light shimmer and a mid-tone shimmer, which you don't have in the other one. You'd think you would, but this does not swatch like a mid-tone shimmer. And this one and this one over here just look so similar that it doesn't translate the way that this one does, light, mid-tone, and deep. So this one, just playing with it, I'm already a bigger fan of it, and I didn't think that was gonna be the case. Okay, let's start off like we did the other one. Take this set shade and just go all over. Nothing to see here, just setting a base. Maybe it'll help to lock down the cream matte that I'm gonna go into. I'm gonna go into this one here to give myself a little bit of a base. This one is a like cooler toned brown than the first one that I swatched, which has a little bit of warmth. Cooler toned, but it still has some warmth to it. I think you could do a lot with this palette. This one more so than the other one. I mean, you could get a lot deeper with this other one than I did. I just still feel like this one has more to it. There's more going on in terms of options. Next, I'm gonna go into this shade here. It's technically the top middle, and kind of do the same thing that I did on the other side. All right, I'm going into this really foiled one. I feel like it's gonna be so much fallout. It is. It is. Just keep going, Carrie. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, I'm going to take that marbled shade again in the outer corner. It's so similar to the one above it, matching. Even though I brought the entire creamy shade all over the eye, I still feel like these light shimmers are just too chunky, too glittery. I don't know. I don't know if I love them. They make it stick on top of the cream, but there's still fallout here. I'm gonna do the same thing and go into that deepest shade right here and create a little bit of a liner again. I want to give you guys my final take, my take on this. I feel like these are nice if you like creams, if you're looking for creams. I don't necessarily think this was the kind of palette that made me realize I loved cream shadows. I've also never really had a desire to play with matte cream shadows before, but if you did, that's where I think these are good. My least favorite things about these are these chunky shimmers. They don't have a huge base. They're pretty messy overall. They look almost identical, even though one's a much icier shade and the one from the cool toned one is more of a gray shimmer. At least that's kind of how it looks in the pan. They look very similar on the eyes because they're mostly just this champagne glitter, again, with just not a ton of base here. I think they performed though. They didn't skip, they didn't get patchy, they went on evenly, they were super easy to blend. So in terms of the quality of these, as creams go, I think that they're very good. So if you were looking for all cream palette with like powdered shimmers, that's kind of how I feel about these, then I think they're really nice. I do in fact enjoy the set shade. I would like to see how it performs just on a bare lid and if they lock down. I will do a check-in for you guys on my phone that I will insert, probably overlay me talking right now to show you guys what the shadows look like at the 5-hour mark. If there's any creasing or lifting, just so we can see the longevity of the shadows overall, because that's important too. I feel like I don't personally have oily lids, so I never worry about a shadow creasing. I never even see it. But I think with creams, if you do have oilier lids, you're probably gonna want to set it down for sure. But we'll see what happens. We'll see the longevity of it overall. But my first impressions upon application is it's a really easy formula to work with. I think you can get diversity here too. I don't think these are limited to one type of look. I like that. I feel like you can go single swipe with the creams. You could skip shimmer if you wanted to. You could do single swipe with the cream and then lay shimmer on top. I was trying to use as many shades as possible and I liked that. Some of these lighter ones in the grayish palette, they were obviously making a bigger indentation. They're just a softer formula in general. I feel like this one, I didn't intend for it to be my favorite, but I feel like there's more to do here in this one, specifically because you get the light, the mid-tone, and then the deep shimmer, and they all reflect, as opposed to just kind of look more like a satin shade, like this kind of deeper one out here that looks very similar to the other ones. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below. I'm out of here for today, you guys, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye.